The Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are some of the longer books of the Bible, especially the New Testament. Their subject matter is mostly the life of Jesus, but there's a lot they don't cover. Most of what we know about Jesus, most of what our God wanted us still to know thousands of years later, is about the last roughly 3 years of Jesus' life. Before getting into that, we'll take a look at the first 90% of Jesus' time on earth, starting, of course, with his birth. Jesus was theoretically born in AD 1, because AD means in the year of the Lord. This dating designation was not used until 500 years after Jesus, and it wasn't widely adopted as a universal dating system for almost another 1,000 years. But it did become such a big thing that it simply could not be altered without causing even more problems. We don't know exactly when Jesus was born, but after the BC and AD system became the standard, it became obvious that Jesus almost certainly was not born in what they had been calling AD 1. But you can't just go back and change every date in history. So we just accept the fact that Jesus was born before Christ. The Bible books themselves do not tell us a solid date for Jesus' birth, but they do give us some clues. Luke mentions that it was during a census while Quirinius was governor of Syria. That's actually not all that helpful because the word for census and the word for governor are just not that clear-cut in the original Greek. And there was a well-known census while Quirinius was governor of Syria, but it was in AD 6, and that's much too late to be the birth year of Jesus. And Luke says he makes sure to mention that he's talking about the first census. So he knows about the one in AD 6. It's not that one. The one he's referring to is a different one, an earlier one, the first one. We don't necessarily know exactly when that was. Luke also strongly implies, at the very least, that Jesus began his public ministry in the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar's reign. Scholars place this as AD 28 or 29. He then mentions the age of Jesus at that time as about 30, which would then place Jesus' birth as about BC 3 or 2. Matthew helps us out by referring to Herod. The Bible says Herod the Great was ruling when Jesus was born, and that he ordered that all infants under 2 be killed, targeting Jesus, assuming that he was that age. Therefore, Jesus had to be born before Herod died, and he was probably at least a year old when Herod died. The two main theories on when Herod died are 4 BC and 1 BC. Either way, Jesus was not born in AD. The historian Josephus recorded that Herod died shortly after a lunar eclipse. This information has led scholars to precise dates, but more than one, unfortunately, due to uncertainty about which eclipse this was. So the best we can do is say Jesus was born between 6 and 2 BC. After Jesus' birth, you flip one Bible page and he's a grown man, but there are a few things mentioned between his birth and age 30. The Bible says that he was taken to be circumcised and formally named on the 8th day after his birth. Then the same chapter says that he went to the temple for his dedication, which coincided with his mother Mary's purification rites. Jesus would have been 40 days old for this, according to Leviticus chapter 12. Luke does not mention the Magi, but Matthew says that they came to visit Jesus after he was born. The typical nativity scene that assumes present Magi on Christmas is likely inaccurate. Matthew also says they arrived at the house. Then, when paranoid King Herod heard that someone with the title King of the Jews had been born, he gave the order to kill all boys under 2 in Bethlehem and its vicinity. This terrible decree shows that the Magi arrived some time later, and also that Jesus and Mary and Joseph did stay in Bethlehem for some time. To escape this evil infanticide, Jesus and family relocated to Egypt for a while until King Herod died, which date again is not solidified but probably 4 or 1 BC. After he died, they returned and settled in Nazareth. The only other event the New Testament records before Jesus is 30 is when he's 12. That's when Mary and Joseph lost him at the Jerusalem temple, when he was talking with the rabbis after the completion of the Passover. It would certainly be interesting to know more details about Jesus growing up, or maybe about the apostles as teenagers, but we know what we need to know. I'm Pastor Clinton. May the God of wisdom increase your understanding of His Word.